On the news, court grants Dele Farotimi 30 million naira bail. The Nigerian government flags off free nationwide train ride. And Sanwo-Olu launches redevelopment of EJ Police Barracks, unveils 2,200 housing units and security upgrades. It's a pleasure to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Ochejim. The Chief Magistrate Court in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, has granted embattled human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi bail in the sum of 30 million naira after being charged with 14 counts of defamation. Presiding over the case, Chief Magistrate Abayomi Adeosun ordered that Farotimi provide 2 sureties, one of whom must own property in Ado-Ekiti, as part of his bail conditions. Farotimi was arrested on December 3rd, 2024 in Lagos by operatives of the Ekiti State Police Command for allegedly defaming a senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola. And the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Force, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, has issued a warning against directing curses at individuals online, declaring it a criminal offense under Nigerian law. In the post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Adejobi explained that this behavior is considered cyberbullying and cannot be justified as freedom of expression or constructive criticism. His remarks sparked reactions from Nigerians on social media, with questions raised about the implications of such a stance on free speech. Joining me now to throw more light on this issue is legal expert Evans Ofeli. Thank you for joining us. Now, what's your take on the whole Dele Farotimi saga? The reason behind his arrest was the alleged defamation of Afe Babalola, and he has now been granted bail to the tune of 30 million naira. Now, what do you make of that?
Well, the offense itself, to start with, the available offense, okay, it's one offense that's quite very controversial in Nigeria because now it's expected that that offense should have been outlawed. But unfortunately, it's still in our law books. I mean, criminal defamation is still in the criminal code that regulates criminal activity in the south of Nigeria, wherein the alleged offense was committed. Okay, so we have seen the back and forth story that have, been on the issue, and this is also constructive to the general public that criminal defamation is still in our laws, and as such, people should desist from making such claims or defaming people. If you must do so, you must make sure you have evidence, fair comment, and proof is justification under defamation. So if what you are saying is actually true and you have evidence to that effect, so you have no, you don't need to fear. You can go ahead and say what you want to say about the situation if truly you want to say it, and if you know that you have evidence. But where it is false or it is true and you have no evidence and all that, when they come after you, you must be ready to weather the storm. In Dele Farotimi's case, I am not going to say that he's guilty of the offense or not because the case is in court. It's sub judice. But the most important thing is that he's been granted bail, which is according to law, and that bail will subsist until he's able to perfect it. Okay? But one other constructive thing I need to say is that men of the Nigerian police should be careful. I mean, the way they arrest citizens and the way they treat them during the process of arrest and all that. It's one that leaves a lot to be desired in a country that, a country like Nigeria, that is the largest concentration of black people in the world. Nigeria is supposed to set a pace and example to other countries in Africa and many black nations of the world. The way police go about this same thing, most times they go overboard. So this case calls for a lot of things, for judicial reforms and for the criminal justice system reform and police reform. Okay, because we have seen that the police didn't do well in this case. He's supposed to be treated as a suspect, not a victim or a convict. treated so badly. And I think the police should desist henceforth from doing same. Now, the court itself initially refused him bail. That
Okay,
was not
so
good enough.
the police, sorry to cut you short. Now, the police have now stated that directing curses or raining curses at individuals online is a criminal offense under the law. However, the Nigerian constitution guarantees Nigerians the freedom of speech. What is your view on this? And does the statement by the police in any way restrict Nigerians' freedom of speech? And I'd also like you to increase your volume, sir.
Yeah, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is guaranteed under the Constitution. But there's nowhere in the Constitution where the Constitution asks you to go abusing people or to go defaming people. Okay, there's nowhere in the Constitution that is written. Your right to freedom of speech, freedom of thought, conscience, freedom of religion, movement, all guaranteed. Okay, all unalienable. These rights are not absolute. We keep saying this. They are not absolute because once the expression is adjudged as false, or you are unable to substantiate whatever it is you are stating about that person, if it takes an action against you, and if you look at the Cyber Crime Act, the Cyber Crime Act quite spelled out, a lot about this. Even though some persons have said the Cyber Crime Act overreached the Constitution, which I agree partly, we have to revisit that Cyber Crime Act because there are issues there under Section 24 that have become an overcast, such that it's now leaking and then soiling part of constitutional provisions that ought not to be so. Okay. But the basic line here is that your statement must not turn out to be false. It must not be false. If it turns out to be false, then you are, defaming someone. And under such condition, you can be charged for cyberbullying or any of the provisions under the Cybercrime Act, okay, or under defamation, criminal defamation.
All right. Thank you for shedding more light on this, Mr. Ofeli. Thank you for your time. And moving on, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has disclosed that Nigeria needs to invest $20 billion annually to achieve its economic targets by 2027. He made this statement on Friday during the citizens and stakeholders engagement on the implementation of presidential priorities and ministerial deliverables for the fourth quarter of 2024 held in Abuja. Edwin noted the urgency of the investment, stressing its role in driving economic growth and facilitating infrastructural development. According to him, an additional $20 billion per year is required to grow the economy by an average of 6.3% in the medium term. And President Bola Tinubu has announced the targets to reduce inflation from 34.6% to 15% by 2025. He made these statements during his second budget presentation before a joint session of the National Assembly. In an exclusive interview with TV360 Nigeria, financial analyst Kalu Aja emphasized the need to focus on food inflation, which he identified as the primary driver of overall inflation. Aja also noted that the government must address insecurity in key food-producing regions. He expressed skepticism about the feasibility of reducing inflation to 15% within the next 12 months, citing the significant planning and efforts required to achieve such a goal.
We have high inflation because food prices have gone high, and why they've gone high? Because of insecurity in the Middle Belt and the North, where the bulk of our tubers and our grains come from. So because we don't have that huge supply, prices have gone up. So to fix inflation, you've got to fix the insecurity across those food growing areas. And I don't think we can get that done in 12 months. Even if we could stop the banditry in 12 months, you still have to plant the food, harvest it, process it, and get it to market. So I don't see that happening in the next 12 months. It might abate, but that's not going to happen. We had a policy to say we're going to import duty-free food. That hasn't happened. If we had done that, we would have seen a reduction in inflation today. But that has not happened. And that was passed way back, I believe, in the second quarter of 2024, but still hadn't happened. If you want to reduce inflation, you've got to focus on what causes inflation. That's the high cost of food. The government isn't doing anything in that regard. So just raising interest rates by the CBN will not really bring down inflation. They've got to allow food to come in cheaper on a short-term basis, in the immediate term, and then focus on insecurity in the long term to ensure that there's more food produced and it's taken to the market in the south, and that takes down prices, and of course inflation also goes down.
And the Nigerian government has officially flagged off the nationwide free train service to alleviate travel costs during the festive season. Effective from December 20th, 2024 to January 5th, 2025, the initiative is expected to transport over 340,000 passengers across various routes, including Abuja to Kaduna, Lagos to Ibadan, Port Harcourt to Aba, Lagos Mass Transit, and Warri Itakpe. Acting Managing Director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Ben Iloanusi, emphasized the importance of security and orderliness during this period. He advised passengers to book tickets online at no cost and arrive at stations at least 45 minutes before departure with valid identification. The NRC has implemented measures to manage crowds and ensure safety, including limiting ticket purchases to 2 per person and enhancing security presence at stations. And in a bid to address the housing deficit and improve the welfare of security personnel in Lagos, State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Thursday performed the groundbreaking for the redevelopment of the Ije Police Barracks in Obalende. This landmark initiative aims to deliver 2,200 modern housing units for police officers and their families. The governor also handed over 260 new patrol vehicles and other security equipment to the Nigerian police force and supporting security agencies. This next report by Victoria Konde provides more details.
The Lagos State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring the comfort and safety of the men and women of the Nigeria Police Force and their families. To achieve this vision, the government, led by Babajide Sanwo-Olu, conducted the groundbreaking ceremony for 2,200 police housing units at the Ije Police Barracks in Ikoyi, Lagos. The project will feature state-of-the-art facilities, commercial and residential properties, paved roads, and many more. Governor Sanwo-Olu says his administration's vision is to build a secure, proactive, and technologically empowered state capable of addressing modern security challenges.
The welfare of our security personnel and our police and our policemen and women who are serving the nation, safeguarding our lives and properties, also deserve to be taken good care of. And this Ije Police Barracks is the first that will be seeing the redevelopment. For decades, and like the IG said, and like the Commissioner to have said, the barracks stood as a symbol of resilience, sheltering countless officers who have dedicated their lives to protecting our state, to protecting our country.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, while commending the project, acknowledged that most police barracks across the country are in a dilapidated state, having been constructed over 50 years ago.
There have been some form of interventions by successive governments, but unfortunately, the problem had persisted. I give kudos to the immediate past police administration, led by IGP Alkali Baba retired, who took the bold step to go into a private-public partnership with Lagos State Government and the NPF Property Development and Construction Company to remodel and rebuild the police barracks in Lagos.
We're here today because we need to go through a process of regeneration, revitalization, redevelopment to ensure that our policemen who are there on our streets, coming to our homes, at the airport, everywhere, are able to live in very comfortable accommodation.
In the same vein, the Lagos State Governor handed over 260 security vehicles, 1,000 ballistic helmets, 1,000 bulletproof vests, and other security gadgets to the police during the 18th annual Town Hall meeting on security held at the Lagos House in Ikeja.
High-definition cameras have been installed in different parts of the state, of the city, in which we can monitor almost 350 streets and regions at our command and control center, where 24-hour surveillance are being deployed, and we can see things real time, with the deployment of this enhanced surveillance network.
Remarking that Lagos is experiencing robust infrastructure growth, the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, Abdulrazak Balogun, revealed that over 1.896 billion naira was spent in 2024 on refurbishments, equipment procurement, and other operational needs for security agencies in the state.
And a vision of making Lagos the safest, most secure, and prosperous commercial hub in Africa. The fund plays a crucial role in maintaining the operational readiness of our security agencies, which is essential as criminals continue to adapt with advancing technology. The fund is also a member of the Lagos State Security Council and provides relevant suggestions and support to that council.
Thousands of people flock into the state every day, and this also has its implication for security in the state. It makes it imperative for the police in the state to continue to adapt and strengthen security strategies to meet up with the challenges.
While unveiling new initiatives to enhance data technology and improve security in Lagos, Sanwo-Olu further revealed the Digital Identification System project, which is currently in progress to monitor traffic violators and will be launched in January 2025. Victoria Akonde, TV360 News, Lagos.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come, Malaysia approves new search for missing flight after 10 years. Details of this story after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Dec.20th, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Dec.20th, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The Chief Magistrate Court in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State has granted embattled human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi bail in the sum of 30 million naira after being charged with 14 counts of defamation. Presiding over the case, Chief Magistrate Abayomi Adeosun ordered that Farotimi provide 2 sureties, one of whom must own property in Ado-Ekiti as part of the bail conditions. They also informed you that the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Force, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, has issued a warning against directing curses at individuals online, declaring it a criminal offense under Nigerian law. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Adejobi explained that this behavior is considered cyberbullying and cannot be justified as freedom of expression or constructive criticism. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Google, on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Wabi App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news. Okoyemi Owoseni is on standby. What's the latest, Okoyemi?
Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria has granted temporary permission to Bureau de Change operators to purchase up to $25,000 in foreign exchange weekly from the Nigerian foreign exchange market, which was launched earlier this month. The arrangement will be in effect from December 19, 2024 to January 30th, 2025. A circular dated December 19, 2024 and signed by T.G. Alu on behalf of the CBN's Acting Director, Trade and Exchange Department, explained that this move is designed to meet seasonal retail demand for forex during the holiday period. The circular noted that the transactions will occur at the prevailing AFEM rate, and BGCs are required to adhere to a maximum 1% spread when pricing forex for retail end users. Still in the world of business, days after the national grid collapsed for an historic 12th time in Nigeria in 2024 alone, throwing the nation into blackout that has made Nigerians worried over the incessant collapse of the nation's grid. However, despite promises made by President Tinubu and the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, coupled with the $1.4 billion loans Nigeria's power sector has gulped in the 10 years the power supply crisis persisted. Speaking on the development, NEPA Wahala NG Executive Director Emeka Ojoko says that the national grid frequently collapses due to outdated infrastructure, which requires immediate upgrading.
We've seen so many promises from the gentleman you just mentioned and little performance of those promises, right? We are going to wheel out that amount of power into the system for fine and good, right? But at the heart of it is this, that if it's being pushed out and then you have increased power availability and then more people, because the cost of power depending on the ability. So maybe those who are now on bands B and C, as the case may be, may now be boosted into band A and they're paying higher costs, right? So the electricity value chain may make more money, but at the end of the day, it's pushed back on us as people of this country. We're the ones who are going to be paying higher cost for power, right? The heat in Nigeria now is humongous. If higher power is going to further boost inflation in the what's the benefit to the common man? What's the benefit? The little money in your pocket that would only go so far. If it has less purchasing power, while you have more power available to you, right? So if an average household that maybe on band B, right, maybe paying maybe 70,000 naira every month for power, and then you suddenly find yourself paying 200,000. How do you cope?
We'll go on a short break and be back with update from the stock market. Welcome back. It's the final trading day of the week and the Nigerian equities market has recorded its first loss, ending its winning streak. The market dipped by 0.12%, bringing the market capitalization to 61.31 trillion naira. Now, a total of 125 NGX-listed stocks participated in today's trading, with 39 gaining and 15 losing value. Now, leading the laggards, we see Multiverse, Mining and Exploration seeing the biggest drop with a 9.8% decline, closing at 4 naira naira 60 kobo per share. Now followed by Aradel Holdings, which closed at 664 naira 0 kobo. Now by the close of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, over 513 million shares were traded in 11,554 transactions, with a market value exceeding 15 billion naira. Now when compared to the previous trading day, that's Thursday, December 19th, today's figure shows a 28% increase in volume, a 7% drop in turnover, but a 13% rise in the number of deals. Now, turning our gaze to the global scene, two of our selected indices, that's the UK FTSE and Japan's Nikkei, closed in negative territory, while the US Dow Jones defied the trend, posting a 1.21% gain. Now, on the foreign exchange market, the Naira remained volatile, trading at 1,660 Naira to the US dollar, 2,150 Naira to the British pound, and 1,770 Naira to the euros. That's your business and stock market update. Now over to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okoyemi. And on the foreign scene, the Malaysian government has announced that it would launch a new surge for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, more than 10 years after it disappeared in one of the world's greatest aviation mysteries. The Boeing 777, which was carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members, vanished while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8, 2014. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that the proposal to search a new area in the southern Indian Ocean came up from exploration firm Ocean Infinity, which had also conducted the last search for the plane that ended in 2018. The firm will receive $70 million if wreckage found is substantive, Loke told a press conference. And still on the foreign scene, a 7-year-old child was killed by a knife-wielding assailant who attacked a teacher and pupils at a Zagreb primary school on Friday, the government ministers have disclosed. Health Minister Irena Herstik said the attacker stabbed 5 people, wounding 4 and killing 1. The suspect later injured himself and was detained. Interior Minister Davor Bozinovic said the attacker was a 19-year-old former school student who entered the school in the middle of the morning and wounded the teacher and children with a knife. Bozinovic said the suspect had a history of psychological problems and had tried to commit suicide in 2023. And on sports, the 22nd National Sports Festival, originally scheduled for January 12, 2024 and tagged Gateway Games Ogun 2024, has been postponed. The event will now take place from May 16th to 30th, 2025. This decision was made following a joint technical meeting held in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. In a communique read by Thekla Okbara, the secretary to the main organizing committee, it was stated that the postponement was necessary to implement some of the technical committee's recommendations to ensure the festival meets world-class standards. The Joint Committee also urged the MOC Secretariat to revise the Games timeline and share the updated schedule with all relevant stakeholders. And Thierry Jacob, the former boxing world champion from France, has passed away at the age of 59. The mayor of his hometown, Calais, confirmed on Friday. Jacob won the WBC Super Bantamweight title in 1992, defeating Mexico's Daniel Zaragoza in a memorable bout before his hometown crowd in Calais. He turned professional in 1984 and retired a decade later with a 39-6 record. Jacob lost his WBC title in his first defense against American Tracy Harris Patterson in New York. Following in his father's footsteps, Jacob's son, Romain Jacob, became a professional boxer and claimed the European Super Featherweight title in 2014. And that wraps up our bulletin on news now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Joy Ochejim. See you next time.